Well, hello and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Because ain't no telling what time it is when you're seeing me. I'm going to just sip my tea. A lot has happened overnight. And it's going to be like that for the coming days where you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, sips tea. So let's get right into it. I am recording both to YouTube and TikTok. This is our global classroom. This is a courtesy video. I spilled some tea on my shirt, but this is a courtesy video mainly to discuss some just housekeeping things with you as we prepare for class tomorrow. And to remind folks, if you have not registered, please register. The YouTube link is on our homepage for TikTok. Click that YouTube link, subscribe to the YouTube page. But while you're there, under description, there is a link to a Google form. Go ahead and fill that out. That's your registration. It's not required. You can just jump in and jump out. But if you want to optimize this experience, I would encourage you to register. I'm not going to inundate you with emails, and I'm for sure not going to sell your information. But what I am going to do is I'm going to send you resources and articles probably once a week, maybe less than that. But this is a way to keep you engaged and abreast of what's happening. Now, let's just jump on into it, but I need some more tea. We are just about 24 hours away. Well, this recording time of this recording is about 24 hours away from our first day of class in our global or virtual classroom. The dog wants to come to class. But we're just about a day away, a full 24 hours away. And I am very excited. I've expressed that previously, but there are a couple of things I want to tell you about class tomorrow. Class tomorrow will last about an hour to an hour and a half because down, down, because Article 1 is what we're focusing on tomorrow, as well as the founding and the establishment. So that's going to require some time, about an hour for the founding, and then, well, maybe 45 minutes for both, kind of split it in half, the founding and Article 1. And we're going to delve into that. I encourage you to have your notebook and your pen. I know some of y'all want to type your notes. No, no, write them down. You're writing it because you need to absorb it, right? You need to be able to absorb this information. For most people, you took this course or a course similar or named, let me say not similar, but named government. You took a government course in high school or middle school or in college, but it was, if you took it in public schools, K through 12, it was a semester, it was government econ, and it was just surface level. And then you may have taken civics in middle school. This ain't that. This ain't that. This is not even the collegiate, the traditional collegiate course. This is like, this is a dream. This is going to be just a constant provision of information for you to utilize as you navigate and become more responsible as a citizen or a person. Listen to my language because we're going to revisit it, as a citizen or a person here in the United States. Okay? Got that? That citizen and person is a 14th Amendment reference, by the way. Now, y'all remember I told you in an earlier video, you by the time I'm done with you, you're gonna know that 14th Amendment freaking verbatim, as well as the First Amendment and a lot of these amendments. And even if you don't know them verbatim, you're going to be able to surmise them enough that you really do know your rights and you really can express them. You really can understand them and share them and help others, because this is ours. This is ours. That's why the preamble says, we the people. This is ours. Government does not belong to one person or just a small segment of the nation. Government belongs to everyone. The Constitution is for all of us. And the way people abuse the Constitution is because the populace ignores it, is not aware, isn't knowledgeable, and also because tactics are used to overwhelm you and distract you. That's why I need you to absorb it. That's why I need you to write it down so it's in you. And when something is in you, it has no choice but to come out of you and to begin to impact others. Now, that can be a positive or a negative. This is a positive, though, but you see where I'm going. So tomorrow, 10:20 a.m., right here on, I almost said Blackboard. This ain't Blackboard. Right here on YouTube and TikTok, streaming live. The recordings will be on our YouTube page. We will be talking about, tomorrow we will be talking about Congress, as well as, which is Article 1, but also about the founding, right? The founding and the foundation of our nation, as well as Article 1, which is Congress. Okay, so if you want to prepare for tomorrow, you need to pull up your Constitution, the link that I've already provided you. If you have registered and haven't received an email from me, do not worry. I will send emails tonight and again tomorrow, like around maybe 10 a.m., just shortly before class. I will send out another round of emails to the persons who didn't get the previous round that goes out tonight. But make sure that you review Article 1 of the Constitution. I would say just take your time with that when you review it. Don't try to understand it, but just gloss over it a little bit. In particular, I want you to look at sections 1, 2, and 3. That's where we're going to start tomorrow. Sections 1, 2, and 3. I hope to get through section 5 of Article 1 tomorrow, but I want you to be prepared. Now, in terms of the founding and the foundations and how we came to have a constitution, I'll take care of that. I need you to take notes, okay? For those of you who are new, make sure you not only follow this page here on TikTok, but also make sure you follow, subscribe, like, and share our YouTube page, which is Pretty Petty Politics. And also, if you can, follow me on Instagram _ the Pretty Professor. If you are interested in supporting, you can subscribe, you can comment, you can share our videos, both on both platforms, not Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you want to share anything on Instagram, thank you. I'm going to put clips on Instagram, but my main focus is going to be YouTube and TikTok at this present time. That is all I have. I'm going to do some news later in another video, but that's it. Peace out. Have a good one. Now, for those of you who are still on here on YouTube, just because I can, I'm going to show you some of the other things that we're going to be talking about as we prepare for our global classroom. I've mentioned the U.S. Constitution. When I refer to the U.S. Constitution, I am talking about the whole thing, right? This belongs to us. This is ours. But unfortunately, so many of us don't read it, have not ever read it. We can refer to certain things. We know to call a number, like I know I have a Second Amendment right to bear arms, but what does the Second Amendment actually say? Or I know I have Fourth Amendment right, but what does the Fourth Amendment express, right? Right now, there's a lot going on. Where you better know your Fourth Amendment rights. But you need more than that. We're also going to talk about, in particular, when we talk about the U.S. Constitution, we're going to talk through the articles. We're going to go through all 7 of the articles of the U.S. Constitution. We're going to look at all 28 amendments, and I'm stressing quotation of 8. I don't know what the dog just did. Come here. Of the amendments, because the 28th Amendment is likely to be ratified. Sit. All right. The 28th Amendment is likely to be rescinded, or may be rescinded. Don't let me say likely, because I don't want it to be rescinded if I'm just going to keep it 100. But we will talk about each of them. We will talk about when they were passed through Congress and then when they were ratified. Because just because Congress passes an amendment does not mean that amendment is legitimately law, because the Constitution, which is the articles, the Constitution prescribes how an amendment becomes law. Okay. The Constitution prescribes how an amendment becomes law. And so an amendment requires 3/4 of the several states. So we have 50 states. An amendment requires that 3/4 of the several states ratify it. 3/4 would be 38. So we need 38 states to ratify any changes, okay, in terms of accepting amendments. So we'll talk more about that. We're also going to talk about acts of Congress. Come here. We're also going to talk about acts of Congress, the powers of Congress, how Congress passes laws. We'll talk about executive orders more in depth. There is a video on TikTok, and I will upload it here, that talks about executive orders, but we will go more in depth as we talk about the powers of the executive branch, or presidential powers, which are found in Article 2. Okay. I will tell you the president does not have like supreme powers that overpower everything else. That's just not how our Constitution is set up. Our Constitution is literally, intentionally, and purposefully was set up so that there was a balance of powers between the 3 branches. Okay. I don't know what's wrong with her, so I gotta go. But we will talk about the balances of powers. So that means that we will be talking about the federal courts and the decisions that come from the federal courts. Decisions are rulings, determinations, what the court says, because the role of the courts is to interpret the laws. Congress writes the laws, and the president should enforce the laws. We will also have case studies so you can see how these things are applicable in real time and in real folks' lives. Again, congressional powers. And early on, we're going to talk about the types of government. All right. We have a democracy and our nation is a republic. And I know that confuses people, so we're going to have to break that down. Again, make sure you're following me on TikTok. I look forward to sharing so much with you during our spring 2025 global learning experience. This recording, or this live, is recorded. You can watch it at any time. Make sure you subscribe, but also make sure you're following on TikTok so that you can go and look at the previous videos and get an idea of the substance of the course. Again, the first day of class is Thursday, January 30th at 10:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're expecting about an hour and a half tomorrow. It may go longer, but at minimum an hour and a half so that we can really get our footing. And I will see you later. Peace out.